A boy suddenly realizes that he is all alone in the whole world. There is no one on his campus or on the roads. He goes home and finds that time has also stopped. He is shocked because of all these unknown things, and suddenly an angel appears and tells him that Earth's time has stopped. The boy asks who she is, and the angel responds, "Who do you think I am?" When the boy says, "You are a home intruder," the angel is shocked and shows her wings, saying she is clearly an angel and her name is Lita. Lita tells him that she came here to tell him that the boy has been left behind, and the boy suddenly remembers his trauma and how he has always been left behind all of his because of these thoughts. He was depressed. The angel goes on to say that all humans except you were sent to another dimension. And the boy asks why. The angel explains that the earth will be going through a great cataclysm, which means that the earth is leveling up to the next stage. Or in simpler terms, mana will be released on earth. Also, an archaic record system will make contact with earth and humans can get a sense of their power. It's called the status. The angel praises herself and says she is good at explaining. The angel further says once mana is released on earth, monsters will appear and the monster cannot be killed by simple guns and swords. So if we just leave mankind as they are, they will be at risk of being annihilated by the monster. So God stopped time on earth and sent all humans to another world so they could have time to train and adapt to mana. To be precise, their real bodies are kept in a safe place, and by creating avatars they are sent to another world. Can't we kill monsters with guns and explosions? The boy asks. And the angel responds that a monster formed by high-ranking energy wouldn't even die to a nuclear missile, which is why God arranged for all mankind to learn mana. The boy asks what the angel thinks about him, and the angel says, "I think there was a mistake. The portal connecting to other dimensions is already closed, and your stalwart skill that even God couldn't recognize is amazing." The boy was very angry and said, "How does a stupid God exist? Stupid exist." And he also demanded to learn mana. The angel says the merciful God took pity on you since you were left behind and decided to give you a bonus. It will be 10 years until Makine comes back. So until then I will take care of your meals and other things. The angel suggests he train his body to prepare for the upcoming great cataclysm. The angel says if you can't use mana, you just need to be physically strong. And this is how the lonely life of the boy began. 5 years have passed since humans disappeared from Earth, and during all this time Yulin trained his body every day while other people were developing their mana. All he could do was increase his physical strength. The angel asks him, "Are you not bored? You have been doing the exact same thing for the past 5 years." The angel notices that Yulin have developed a lot of muscles and his strength has also improved. The angel praises his patience and says, "You are not an ordinary person. I already knew that since you avoided the eyes of God with your stealth technique." Elon gets angry with this remark. Lita is the only person that Elon has. She comes every week to meet him. All of Ellen's meals were prepared by Lita, and when it was time to eat, the table was automatically filled with food and the dishes were cleaned automatically. Ellen wants to learn martial arts or how to use weapons. The angel Lita asks her, "How will you learn when there is nobody to teach you?" And Elon says, "I will learn from YouTube." Elon asks the angel why the internet servers haven't failed and are still operational, and the angel gives the same answer: time has stopped, which irritates Elon. We see that Elon is practicing martial arts on the ground, and Lita suggests he focus on the basics, as he has 5 years to learn them. After 4 years of constant training in martial arts, one day Lita asks Elon if he wants to spar with her so he can improve faster. Elon asks, "Are you telling me to hit you?" An angel confirms and says, "Don't worry, come at me." Elon says, "Even if you say that you are an angel, of course, I can hit you." Feel the power of 9 years of loneliness and resentment. Lita, a potential star born for fighting in the heavens, knocks him out with a single punch. Lita says, "Don't worry, and use him as your sparring partner." And the major bleeding comes free with it. Elon tries to refuse, but Lita forces him. The 10 years have passed now, and Elon is preparing himself to meet with people after 10 years, and the angel tells him that with your martial arts skill you can kill low-level monsters easily, and after you level up, you can also use mana. So don't worry. Elon asks if they will be able to meet again, and Lita says it depends on you. Elon stood on the ground thinking that it was a shame to say goodbye to Lita, but that at least I could return to my normal life. But after a while, no one appeared on Earth. Now Ellen is enraged and demands an explanation from Lita, and she says there was a mistake and the axis of time has been shifted, and Ellen complains and says, "Do I have to wait another 10 or 20 years? Okay, I will wait some more." however. 50 years went by and no one returned. We see that Elon is training in the cave and Lita praises him, saying he's gotten a lot stronger than before. Elon says that as 50 years have passed, he stopped counting time, and now he doesn't remember my mom's face. Lita worriedly asks Ellen, "You haven't fallen into despair, have you?" Elon says he is bored with martial arts, and Lita responds, "But the great cataclysm could start at any moment. You can't neglect your martial arts." Elon says, "I know, so I will keep training while I read books too." Lita felt relieved that he hadn't fallen into despair yet and says that's a good idea. After that, Elon read books all day long, first modern novels, then business books, general knowledge, history, geography, physics, chemistry and art, and he read all the books in the library. Elon started to travel to other countries, starting with nearby China, followed by Russia, America and so on. He learned several languages and read all the books in the world. Elon asks what he should do now. Lita admires him and thinks that even after living alone for hundreds of years, he still has hope, and she prays to God, "Dear Lord, please let the humans return before Elon reaches his limits." After reading every book in the world, illustrated learning butchery and blacksmithing, and he got the idea that if he killed every animal, it wouldn't prevent the monsters from appearing. Letty says, "Just hunt monsters, which I allow you to do, or else the equilibrium will be destroyed." And she suddenly stopped talking, because this is confidential information. Elon asks her why he stopped talking, and Lita tells him to pretend that he's never heard this before. Elon says I should become a butcher in any case. And Lita thinks Ian is a fascinating person. It's been 274 years since we were alone, which is a long time, even for an angel, after years of practice. This time Elon hunted a sperm whale to check his maze and butchery. Lita warns him that sperm whales are endangered species and therefore prohibited from hunting, and Elon says to just let it go this time. Elon has now started to learn blacksmithing, and he thinks it's easy to read about the skills in a book, but in reality they aren't, and his hand slips, and the sword he was working on breaks. Elon practiced for 5 years and was eventually able to make a shabby sword, which Lita takes from his hand and says, "You can't even cut radish with this." Sosh keeps it as a commemorative item. Elon practiced and created all of the weapons available in this world, such as hammers, axes and long swords. After hundreds of years of striking a hammer, Elon finally makes a perfect spear. Lita praises him and says his tenacity is truly amazing. "This is best steel weapon I have ever seen." But Lita tells Elon that after the introduction of mana, new materials will be born that are even stronger than steel. After mastering butchering and blacksmithing, Elon again started practicing martial arts. Lita thinks that Elon is experiencing several generations of progress in a single body. But as thousands of years have passed, he will soon reach his limit. If he could experience something new, it would be nice. Like having an opposite-sex relationship. Lita flusters because of these erotic thoughts. But she remembers that her mission is to help Elon. So if he wants that, then I have to help him. Elon asks Lita what she is doing there by herself. Suddenly, Lita comes very close to Ellen, but the sword she took from Ellen begins to fly. Lita goes behind it to catch it, and Elon notices that his clothes are changing to what he wore on the day the Earth stopped and everything began to return to normal. Lita also notices from the sky that the great cataclysm has arrived. Elon's body flies and moves in the direction of the college campus. Lita sees him in the sky and thinks they couldn't even say a proper goodbye and hadn't even kissed him. Elon looks at Lita and thinks I want to meet her again. She is an angel, a high-ranking being. If so, will also become a high-ranking being. Everyone was transported back to their places on Earth, and now Elhan can see that his status on Earth has also been upgraded. Elon hears other people talking about how they returned after only 10 years. And he thinks I am the only one who was left behind for 1,000 years. People were complaining because their stats had been reverted to level 1. Elon notices that there are so many people besides him, but none of them reacts towards him. It's as if he's invisible to them. Island notices his stealth skill, which is already at max level, and concludes that he is probably invisible to others because of it. Elon tries to turn off the skill but fails to do so, and Elon cries, thinking that he is fated to be alone. Elon goes back to his home and on his way back, he is happy to see busy streets again. As Elon enters his home, he hears his Mother's voice and all the memories he had forgotten return to him as he sees his mother's face and he hugs her in joy. Elon sat at the table to eat food when his father said there was no news about HES, and his mother also joined in the conversation about the other world, which Elon couldn't understand. Elon's mother inquires as to where he went in the other world, and Elon considers concealing the fact that he was left alone in the world from his mother by claiming to be a place without a name. Elon's father complains about how difficult it is to use mana, and Elon's mother says she heard that one can earn a lot of money if they are good at using mana. Monster corpses are said to be worth a lot of money. Elon tells his parents that he can't use mana at all, and his parents say that's why you should be focused on studying. Elon finds that the perfect sphere he made is still here and thinks he can use it to fight monsters. Instead of looking for new weapons, Elon checks his weapon stats, but he has no idea if they are good or bad. He now searches the internet for information about the other world. He learns that a normal person can fight up to level 5 monsters, and one generally needs to be around level 7 to be chosen as the lowest rank soldier in other worlds. Starting from level 10, one can gain classes like a swordsman, archer, etc. And when they reach level 50, they are considered strong and can proceed with the second class advancement. And the third class advancement is possible at level 100 due to the hellish conditions required to level up after the third class advancement. There are no reports of anyone seeing another go through the fourth class advancement. Many say that high-ranking monsters like Dragon and Bahamas would be in the fourth or fifth class. Elon thinks he will gather more information tomorrow at school. Elon looks outside the window and says, "I miss Lita." Someone responds, "She'll be glad to hear that." Elon looks around and wonders who that is. A small angel stood on the window telling Elon that the heavens had sent me to help you get used to mana. The angel introduces herself as Eartha and says it's very difficult to manage mana, which is why God sent me to support you so you can use mana with ease. Elon asks, "How will you support me?" And Erda says that simply having me by your side activates the mana within you since I am a higher being than you. Elon inquires as to why they are doing these for him, and Erda responds that there was an angel who passionately requested to assist you. She stated that it was not fair to leave you when all you did was barely train. She requested an angel to go and help. Island realizes it must be Leda and asks why she didn't come then, and Eartha tells her that the higher-ups were worried that a human and an angel would become too close, which is why they sent me. Eartha checks Elon's status and realizes that there is no need for an angel because he could defeat a low-rank monster easily with just his fist. Eartha recalls and is enraged by Leda's deception in claiming that he is the only one who cannot use mana. Ethos says it would take a year for you to learn mana if I am here. You have already lived with an angel for 1,000 years. But you didn't learn mana because there was no mana on Earth at that time. Elon asks her if she is going to just stay here. Elon asks what about when are Hayes showering or on the toilet? You should at least leave me alone at that time. Ethan says she doesn't care what a lowly human like you thinks, so don't be concerned. Elon is now going to his school and asks her if she is going to sit on his head all the time, and Eartha says other lower beings can't see me, so don't worry. Elon also noticed that the government has dispatched soldiers everywhere to prepare for monsters that may appear in the future. Elon is almost invisible in the class because of the stealth skill. He thinks it's easy to eavesdrop on other conversations because of this skill, so he started to gather information from other people's conversations. Elon heard about a person nicknamed Impress. She was a student from his university who showed off her talents in the other world. Elon also gets to know about the dungeons with level restrictions, and he asks Eartha what a dungeon is. Eartha explains that it's a trap of monster made by God. First, he lures them in with something, and after a bunch of monsters gather in the dungeon, God blocks the exit so they can't get out. But unlike monsters, humans can freely enter and exit as they wish if they meet the level requirement. So why don't they keep the monsters in there forever? Elon inquires. Earth responds, the dungeons cease to exist after a certain amount of time, which is why humans must get rid of monsters within dungeons in due time. There are also monsters who are smart enough to escape the humans on their own. Elon was sitting in class, but while attending lectures, he thought about what meaning a bachelor's degree would have in the future. The ability to use magic will probably have the most meaning. Ethra says that the most efficient way to train mana is to hunt monsters. Elon complains that he doesn't want to do anything dangerous, and then Ada tells him that we are still in the beginning phase of the Great Cataclysm, so monsters are weak. and you need to hunt many monsters while they are still weak, so you can boost experience points and levels to train your mana. Elon complains that he is still a level 2 and he can't use mana like others. Eartha tells him that if he has a very good physique, he will be able to beat monsters up to level 25 very easily. Don't worry, Etha says we can try it out right now. And we see a swarm of insect monsters outside the campus.